doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be the start of another reading vlog. In this video, I am hoping to read 3 Agatha Christie books. Originally, I was gonna try to be ambitious and read 3 Agatha Christie books in 3 days. I don't know if that's happening, but we'll see how it goes. I definitely want to read all 3 of these books in this vlog. So I recently thought to myself, I should read every single Agatha Christie book. I do not absolutely love all of her books, but all of them I think are pretty fun and pretty easy to read. So I was like, why not read all of her mysteries? I don't plan to read the Mary Westmacott books, which were her romances published under a pseudonym. But I told myself, why not make it a goal to read all the mysteries? I might regret that because she's written so many books. I downloaded the official Agatha Christie reading list from her official website, and there are a lot of books that I'm gonna have to read for this goal. So don't expect me to read every Agatha Christie all that soon. It might take me multiple years to accomplish this. If I counted right, I've read 11 of her books so far, most of which were either Perrault books or were standalones. I knew that for this vlog I wanted to read some of Agatha Christie's books from early on in her career. I don't necessarily want to read every single book in chronological order, partially because I know some of the books from later in her career are not particularly well regarded, and I would like to end this project on a positive note. But I am planning to use this list for guidance to help me on this massive undertaking of attempting to read all of Agatha Christie's books. I think I want to read more Perrault before I take on the Miss Marple series, and I knew one of the books I wanted to read for this vlog was going to be The Big Four, because this is the next Perrault book that I have to read. I have read the first 4 Perrault, and this is number 5. I am actually kind of excited to read it because I know this is not a particularly well-regarded Perrault, so I'm kind of curious to read it and see why so many people don't like it. I don't know the exact plot of this, but I think it leans a little more towards spy thriller rather than the typical Perrault classic English mystery. Then I sort of had to pivot because I went to the library with an idea in mind of what books I wanted to get, and the other 2 I had in mind they did not have. I was hoping to read The Man in the Brown Suit, which is another one of Agatha Christie's early books and one that I have heard positive reviews for. However, it turns out the library does not have a copy of that, so I will have to buy that book if I want to read it. I was also considering getting a copy of Why Didn't They Ask Evans, which is one of her standalones, because that was recently adapted into a mini-series, or maybe it was a TV movie, I don't know, by Hugh Laurie, and so I thought, since that's a recent adaptation, maybe I can read that book. And I actually checked the library website in the morning and it said they had a copy at the main branch. And then when I got to the main branch that afternoon, somebody had already checked it out. So I had to get 2 different books. So I'm going to read in this vlog The Secret Adversary, which is the first in the Tommy and Tuppence series. I was not planning to read this quite yet, however, I am excited for it. I'll talk a little bit more about this one later in the vlog when I start reading it. This is the first in the Tommy and Tuppence series, and this is a series about a husband and wife who solve crimes together, which is really fun. I think the Tommy and Tuppence are more on the thriller side than the mystery side, but it should be interesting. I have found that I quite enjoy reading mysteries that involve romantic pairs who solve crimes together. I think it's kind of fun. And then we have the book that I already started reading, though I did not get very far into it, which is The Secret of Chimneys, which is the first Superintendent Battle book. I knew nothing about this one. I just picked it up on impulse because I knew it was early in Agatha Christie's career. So this is the first in a series involving the character of Superintendent Battle, who is a professional police officer. I do not know if he works at Scotland Yard or a different fictionalized police department. I haven't read much of the book, so he hasn't even appeared in the story yet. the character of Superintendent Battle and Colonel Race, who is in his own series, starting with the man in the brown suit, also appear in the Poirot story Cards on the Table, which I have already read. I probably would have read the Colonel Race and Superintendent Battle books first if I had known they had their own series. I read Cards on the Table because somebody bought it for me as a gift. Probably better to read the other two series first before you read that one. My bad, I didn't know. So, The Secret of Chimneys is going to be the first book I read in this vlog, and honestly, I'm not sure how to explain the plot to you because already this book has a lot of moving parts. So, we begin with this character, I think his name is... I already forget his name. Anthony Cade, this character of Anthony Cade, and he is working as a tour guide in Africa when he reconnects with this old friend of his. And this old friend says, I have a job that I can hire you for. And this friend of his basically explains that while he was in Paris, he met this man who was affiliated with the monarchy in this fictional Balkan country, and he fled the country after the monarchy was overthrown. And he has recently died. However, he has these memoirs he wrote, which he needs delivered to a publisher in London, and these memoirs have potentially damaging information about the monarchy of this country, and so Anthony Cade agrees that he will go back to England, which he left 14 years ago, to deliver these memoirs. At the same time, there is also this plot involving Chimneys, which is this fictional noble estate in England that has hosted many important people from all over Europe. Then another character is the Marquis of Caterham, who Chimneys is his estate, and his acquaintance, George Lomax, is asking him to have a party at Chimneys to host Prince Michael of Czechoslovakia, and there is currently a plan to restore the monarchy of Czechoslovakia with Prince Michael as the king, and the English are all for this plan and they're hoping to profit from it. So George Lomax tells the Marquis of Caterham, we really need this to go well and we have to make sure that these memoirs do not get out because it could ruin the entire plan. So that's kind of what's bringing these two storylines together. There's also a character, a young widow named Virginia Revel, and someone was apparently blackmailing her, and that's related to all of this somehow. It's a lot of moving parts. So we kind of have part country house mystery, part international intrigue, and Superintendent Battle hasn't even appeared in the story yet. So I don't know if that description made any sense at all because there's already a lot going on in this book. So those are the books that I'm planning to read in this vlog. I will update you again when I've read more of The Secret of Chimneys, and hopefully I will be able to make a little more sense of it at that point in time. I really have no other plans for the weekend other than tonight I'm going to see Downton Abbey: A New Era, which I am so excited about because Downton Abbey is my favorite TV show ever. Like every time I watch it, I just can't help but smile. It's my feel-good show. Absolutely love that show, and I cannot wait to go see the movie tonight. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you later. Okay, the lighting in here right now is not ideal, but we're just gonna go with it. So I'm on page 98 of The Secret of Chimneys, and I'm starting to have fun now. So there is now not one, but two murdered people, and Superintendent Battle has been called from Scotland Yard to take over the case. I am actually really enjoying the characters of Virginia Revel and Anthony Cade. I like how they are just so calm under these ridiculous circumstances, and they both seem like they're kind of enjoying it. They're enjoying getting caught up in all of this, and they're both very clever. I thought it was so funny how Virginia is being blackmailed. There's someone who claims to have love letters that she wrote while she was married, and we find out pretty early on that she claims she didn't write them. She doesn't recognize the handwriting, so somebody else was writing them under her name. And when this man starts blackmailing her, She doesn't freak out. She doesn't say, no, I didn't write these. She just plays along with it. And later, you know, George Lomax says to her, well, why did you play along with it? Why didn't you call the police? And she's like, well, I've never been blackmailed before. I wanted to see what it would be like. So I love her. And the chapter is also titled The Gentle Art of Blackmail, which I found funny. Yeah, I just am really enjoying their two characters. They're both so clever and just completely undaunted by the circumstances they're facing. There was also another really good line from Anthony Cade where he says, you know, I always wanted to see if I was clever enough to get away with a crime, but I never really could handle that shitting blood business. I think they're both so like clever and funny, so I'm enjoying that part so far, and I'm gonna keep reading. At this point, the murder just happened. 2 murders, like I said, and I don't know really how everything's gonna come together, but it's starting to get fun, so I probably won't talk to you again until after I go to the movies tonight, but talk to you then. Hello, so I am on page 161 of The Secret of Chimneys. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight, but I think I can finish it tomorrow, probably. And for the most part, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I enjoy the characters of Virginia and Anthony. I think they're both very clever, witty, sarcastic, which is really enjoyable. And I also enjoy the character of Lord Caterham's daughter, who's nicknamed Bundle. She's also very funny. I just find a lot of lines in this book very amusing. Like, for instance, this one. The inquest took place on the following morning. It was extraordinarily unlike the inquests as pictured in sensational fiction. It satisfied even George Lomax in its rigid suppression of all interesting details. I don't know who I think the killer is. I have some suspicions about what's going on, but no clear theory. The plot involving Czechoslovakia is a little bit convoluted, and like some Agatha Christie books are prone to do, I feel like this book definitely stereotypes groups of people, and that's something that I feel like Agatha Christie does a lot, just being a product of her time, and she does that with pretty much every group. She stereotypes Americans, the French, all other different kinds of Europeans, Eastern Europeans, Italians, yeah, which is not great. I am really enjoying the main characters though. I think this book is really funny, and you know, I think going in with no expectations was the way to go. There have been times when I've read a more hyped Agatha Christie, and I think the hype has resulted in me feeling let down by the book. Occasionally, for some books, I've been outright spoiled, or I feel like people have given away a bit too much in their reviews, which then resulted in me guessing the identity of the murderer when otherwise I may not have guessed. So I think going into this book blind is definitely enhancing my enjoyment. Also, I went to see Downton Abbey: A New Era last night, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because this is an Agatha Christie vlog, but I will say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I liked it better than the last movie, and I feel like this film really wrapped up every character's storyline. I personally don't feel like there's any need to make another film after this. I feel like the story just reached its natural conclusion, and I was very satisfied. I had maybe some minor issues, but overall, I thought it was a great ending to the story. So yeah, I enjoyed it. If any of you out there have seen it, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to talk to somebody who's seen this movie about it. It was really good. So that is it for now, I think. I don't think I'm going to finish this book tonight, but tomorrow I should. Hi, remember when I said I wasn't going to finish the book tonight? Yeah, that ended up being a lie. I finished it. I liked it. I had some issues with it. There was one thing in relation to the ending, I don't know how to phrase that without spoiling it, that I did predict. I saw there were some hints and I was like, is that possible? I don't know. And that ended up being true. The identity of the murderers I did not predict, and I'm not really entirely convinced there were that many clues. I think unless you just had a hunch, it would be really difficult to figure out. Overall, I thought this wasn't bad. Like I said, I really enjoyed some of the characters. You know, Agatha Christie has a tendency to shoehorn a romance plot in, and sometimes the characters who end up getting married in the end, I'm kind of like, okay, good for you guys, I guess, but I don't really care. And these two, I actually think they make a pretty good match, so I enjoyed that. And overall, I had a good time reading it. I thought the writing in this book was pretty good. There were some really funny and witty parts that I enjoyed. So I guess it's a 4-star read. There were some issues with it, like I said, but not bad. Not bad at all. So that is it for The Secret of Chimneys, and now I'm going to bed, so I will talk to you again soon. Hi everyone, it is Tuesday around 10 o'clock, so I'm just gonna chill in bed before going to sleep, and I figured why not start reading The Big Four. This is a Poirot mystery. I think it's the fifth Poirot book, and this book is, I think, pretty universally disliked. I really have not seen anyone who says this is one of their favorite Poirot books. I don't know the exact plot of this, but I believe it once again delves a little more into international intrigue, and it involves Poirot having to take down an international crime syndicate run by 4 people called the Big Four. I think that's the plot. I know these more thrillery books are not what a lot of people want in an Agatha Christie, which is maybe why this book is so unpopular. But I'll see. I'm going to read it, and I'm kind of cautiously intrigued to see what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect, and I want to know why people dislike this book so much. So I'm going to see for myself. Okay, I did not realize that this book was narrated by Hastings, and I actually enjoy the books narrated by Hastings. I know some people don't like him, but I find him amusing, so that was a pleasant surprise for me, personally. I've read like half of the Big Four now, and it's not terrible, but it's also like not really fun. So I don't remember if I really told you what this book is about. I apologize if I already did, but basically in this book, Poirot and Hastings are trying to take down this crime syndicate, international crime syndicate, known as the Big Four. And this criminal organization is led by 4 people, the Big Four, and these 4 people are a Chinese revolutionary, an American millionaire, a French intellectual, and a British master of disguise. How these people all got together, how they met each other, I don't know, okay? How did they even cross paths and become literal partners in crime? Like, they didn't have the internet. How did these people all get together? The vibes of this book are just so different from what Poirot is usually like. So many things are happening. It's kind of, more on the thriller side than mystery, international intrigue, etc., etc. And it's not god-awful, but it's not charming. I usually find Agatha Christie's books have a certain charm to them, and this one I'm kind of just like, okay, sure, and I kind of just feel like there's just so much going on. I'm not really having fun. I'm not having a terrible time, but I'm not having fun. And we're just whizzing through so much stuff, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is happening now. So, yeah. I don't even know what the heck I'm gonna rate this. I guess I'll see how it ends up. I mean, I kind of want to say right now it's a 3, but then there's a part of me that's also like, maybe it's a 2, but it's not as awful as I thought it might be, but it's also not good. I don't know. Good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hi again, everyone. So last night I finished reading The Big Four, and I recorded some thoughts last night. However, I don't feel like I really articulated them properly, so I'm going to share my thoughts again, and hopefully it'll come out better this time. I'm torn between a 2 and a 3 for this one. On Goodreads, I went with a 2. Maybe in my wrap-up I'll say 2.5, because usually when I'm really torn between 2 ratings, I just split the difference. All in all, this was not absolutely terrible, but I did not particularly enjoy it. I think it's definitely my least favorite Poirot that I've read so far. Sorry if the camera angle now looks different. I had to jump up because my cat was attempting to murder a gecko. I have saved so many gecko lives, guys. Anyways, so this book just didn't do much for me. I think it didn't give me what I want when I read Poirot, and the plot felt very disjointed and like it was trying to do too much. I was reading Goodreads reviews for this book today, and apparently originally, this book was published in a serial format, and then it was all put together in one book. And I think that probably contributes to the disjointed feeling I had throughout. Throughout this book, we see Poirot trying to take down the Big Four, and also along the way, he is called in on seemingly unrelated cases, and then Poirot will say to Hastings, "This was the work of the Big Four," and it just got a little bit ridiculous. It seemed like there was way too much going on, but I think that makes more sense knowing it was originally serialized, because if you're publishing just little by little, you want each chapter to be exciting. However, I think because of that, the book did not flow well. Another problem I had with this is, though The Secret of Chimneys did have a slightly high suspension of disbelief, I still enjoyed it. Whereas with this book, there were things that were happening in the book where I would just be there reading and I would just say to myself, like, really? Oh my god, really? It was a little bit too ridiculous. It was like if Poirot was in a James Bond movie or something like that. I also feel like this book lacked the charm that I usually find in Agatha Christie's books, so that was disappointing. An interesting thing about the chronology of this book. Now, I do not think this counts as a spoiler because I'm not discussing any major plot elements of this or the other book I'm going to talk about. But the thing that I noticed is, though this book was published after the murder of Roger Ackroyd, at the end of this book, Poirot makes a comment about how he wants to retire into the country to grow vegetable marrows, which is where we find Poirot at the beginning of the murder of Roger Ackroyd. So I believe, even though this book was published after that, it actually takes place before Ackroyd in the timeline. So now I'm going to start The Secret Adversary today. Honestly, I'm really excited for this one. Will update you once I have read a little bit. Other things that I did today, I went to get my nails done, and I went to Barnes & Noble because I have so many Barnes & Noble gift cards, and they sent me a 10% off coupon that was only good for this weekend. And so I went to Barnes & Noble, and I saw that they had The Man in the Brown Suit, which I was originally planning to read for this vlog, except the library does not have a copy. So now I have my own copy, and I think the next time I make a video like this, I will definitely be reading this book. Let me know in the comments if you've read this one. Did you like it? What should I expect? That is it for right now, I think, so I will talk to you later. Hello, I'm here with Drizzle. I don't know if you can hear the purring, but I started reading The Secret Adversary, and so far I am enjoying it, and Drizzle is enjoying being pet. So this is the first in the Tommy and Tuppence series, and Tommy and Tuppence in this first book are in their early 20s, and they are friends who have reconnected after World War I, and both of them are in desperate need of money. So they decide they're going to start their own business. It's not a private detective agency exactly, Basically, they start their own business, which they call the Young Adventurers, and they say, you know, you can hire us to do anything for you for the right price. We'll go anywhere or do anything. And at the beginning of the book, they're in a restaurant together, and Tommy overhears two men discussing a woman named Jane Finn. Later that same day, Tuppence is approached by a man who says that he wants to hire her to pose as his ward in Paris. And when he asks Tuppence for her name, she panics and tells him her name is Jane Finn, the name that they just overheard. But when she tells this man that her name is Jane Finn, this clearly means something to him. Okay, the cat has decided that she is tired of me, so now I can have a steadier arm while filming. But, so, basically, Tommy and Tuppence end up involved in this mystery of who is Jane Finn, why do people want to find her, what happened to her. And so far, I think this book is really, really fun. I love the witty dialogue and the relationship between Tommy and Tuppence. They are not romantically involved yet in this book, but I suspect that since the whole series is about the two of them being married and also getting involved in these investigations, there'll probably be a romantic item before the end of the first book. I feel like that's not a spoiler. I feel like everybody who knows Tommy and Tuppence knows the two of them end up together, so I don't think that's a spoiler. But yeah, so far this has been fun. I enjoy the two main characters, and I think this has more of the Agatha Christie charm than the Big Four did, so I will update you once I've read some more. Hello, me again, in bed with my book, all nice and cozy. I love some of Tommy and Tuppence's dialogue in this book. I feel like this book has the clever Christie writing that I was missing in the Big Four. Like, I love this exchange right here. "Dead men tell no tales," he said evenly. "Ah," said Tommy, "but I'm not dead yet. You soon will be, my young friend." Tommy's heart beat faster, but his casual pleasantness did not waver. "I think not," he said firmly. "I should have a great objection to dying." Oh, yeah. This is kind of what I was missing in the last book, so I'm enjoying it. Okay, another thing. I almost entirely forgot, but I was reading the book earlier today, and I have a theory. So I'm gonna put spoilers on the screen because this potentially could be the ultimate solution to the book, and I don't want to accidentally give anything away. I am wondering if the character of Julius is actually Mr. Brown, because now that I think about it, his story, we only have his word for it, so he could be lying, and I really thought it was incredibly suspicious the night of Rita's death, because when Julius and what's his name, Peel, Sir James Peel Edgerton, when Julius and Sir James walk into the room, Rita falls into a dead faint, which to me makes it seem like seeing one of them shocked her, and it doesn't make sense why seeing Sir James would make her faint because she was just meeting with him the other day. So I think perhaps she knows that Julius is actually Mr. Brown, and so seeing him scares her because she was about to betray him to Tuppence, and so she knows that he's going to kill her. Then she says to Tuppence before her death, she tells Tuppence, "Don't leave," and then whispers, "Mr. Brown." So I think she was trying to tell her, don't leave me alone with Julius. He's not really Julius, he is Mr. Brown. And if he really is Mr. Brown, he would have had the motive, means, and opportunity to kill Rita Vandermeyer. However, then we have this cryptic comment from Sir James to Tuppence that next morning, basically telling her, be careful who you share information with, even people that you think you know really well, maybe you shouldn't tell them things. Which so clearly points to him knowing that Julius is a liar. So I'm like, maybe now I'm wrong, because I feel like if I'm right and Julius really is Mr. Brown, him saying that to Tuppence like makes it a little obvious, kind of gives a little too much away. Do you understand what I'm saying? So now I'm doubting my theory, because even though it makes perfect sense, why would Agatha Christie make Julius look suspicious if it's actually him? Like, I feel like if he's actually Mr. Brown, that comment from Sir James gives a bit too much away. But I don't know. I think the rest of the theory makes sense. I don't know. Now I'm doubting myself because of that one comment. So I think I'm going to go to bed now, and I will probably finish the book tomorrow, so I'll talk to you then. Look at this baby. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Hi, me again. So I'm going to talk about my theory again. So spoilers for The Secret Adversary if you haven't read it yet. I really thought at first that Julius was Mr. Brown, but now I don't think so. Because, oh God, what was that? Because he's had an opportunity now to get rid of Tommy. When they were together alone looking for Tuppence, he could have easily gotten Tommy out of the way if he was really Mr. Brown, and he didn't do that, so now I don't think it's him. Does that mean it's Sir James? I guess, because I really think, honestly, like, Rita must have fainted in that scene because she saw Mr. Brown. So therefore, if Julius is not Mr. Brown, then Sir James must be Mr. Brown? I don't know. I mean, originally I thought it couldn't be Sir James, because why would she be so shocked to see him if she just saw him the day before? Like, she knew he was in town. I guess maybe she just wasn't expecting to see him in this context, and she was scared because she knew now he was probably going to kill her. I don't know, but I guess it just doesn't make sense anymore that Julius could be Mr. Brown, because he had an opportunity to kill Tommy and he hasn't. And the two of them went to try to find the papers in the hiding place Jane told them about. However, the papers were already gone, and the only other person who knew their location besides the two of them and Jane was Sir James. So I guess that means Sir James is Mr. Brown by process of elimination? I don't know. At this point in the story, they believe that Tuppence might be dead, and so Tommy's finally realized that he's in love with her. This is like one of my favorite tropes, where two characters haven't admitted to themselves that they love someone yet, and then one of them is injured, might die, or believed dead, and then they finally admit they love them. That's like one of my favorite tropes. And he says, "I've always loved her from the time we played together as kids." Aw, Tommy and Tuppence. Childhood sweethearts is another one of my favorite tropes, and I love just like friends to lovers. Ugh. Good stuff. Okay, we'll talk to you again when I finish the book. I don't have much longer now. Hi, I finished reading The Secret Adversary, and I really enjoyed this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to rate it, because it definitely wasn't perfect, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So does that mean it deserves 5 stars? Or should I give it a 4 because I know it's not a perfect book? I don't know. I feel like I never give books 5 stars, but I'm also kind of like, well, Jackie, if you thoroughly enjoyed the book, why not just give it 5 stars? So I don't really know. Also, maybe I just loved this so much because I just read The Big Four, which was a disappointment, but this was everything that I wanted. It was so charming, and it had so many amazing lines of dialogue and just like really funny bits. You know, I could read a whole bunch of parts to you, but I won't. I'll spare you. And I really enjoyed the characters of Tommy and Tuppence, and I love their relationship. I think the two of them complement each other really well, both as a pair and as investigators, because Tuppence is very plucky and she kind of is the one who, you know, charges into danger, whereas Tommy is a little more subdued. Repeatedly throughout the book, he is referred to as being not that intelligent, but nothing really gets past him, and I do think he is good at thinking on his feet and basically, you know, coming up with a lie to save himself when he needs to. So all in all, I really enjoyed this one. It was my favorite one that I read in this vlog. I also enjoyed The Secret of Chimneys. Did not enjoy The Big Four. It was not good, but I'm glad that I read it. So that is it for this vlog. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you like me to make more Christie reading vlogs? Would you like me to do more sit-down reviews? I know a lot of people make Christie reviews when they've read 3 books. So let me know if you'd like to see me do something like that or if you like the vlogs. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a captivating rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.